us out. It's NTH RD, North Road. I didn't choose the name. Like, I put my hands up and I'm like, I did not choose the name.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I didn't say it, you know. I didn't come up with the band name.
Lucas is just,
And then whoever came up with the band name is like...
2 years later, and I've got it tattooed on my leg. So, you know, here we are.
You could say you're dedicated, you know, so I respect that.
I am, you know, I'm committed.
I don't have an audio addiction logo tattoo, but don't worry, that's happening because, you know, I've been doing it.
It's coming. Should I get it?
If you want to get it, you can get it. That'd be sick. I mean,
I might get it. Maybe I'll be the first person to have it tattooed on me. Maybe we can do a bit of an exchange.
I can't have that. I have to be the first one to have it tattooed. You could be the second person, but I feel like I have to be the first person. You know, I had to be the. You know, it's my channel, so I feel like I have to break the ground on that. You know, so.
Yeah,
it's just like you got the North Road tattooed, you know. I feel like you have to claim your stake on that, you know. So I respect that.
That's very true.
You know?
Yeah, thanks,
I wouldn't want to take that. I wouldn't want to take like if I got a North Road tattoo and you didn't have one, then I would feel like I feel demoralized, you know.
Oh
man,
like, why did I get it
look,
first, if I in a parallel universe where I don't have a North Road tattoo and you do, I'd be pretty stoked about that. I think either way. Enough. So. Yeah,
I would be the vocalist at North Road. That's what. Like, yes. I feel like that's what. that's the key.
Dude, do it. I need a vacation. Like, come down. Just play our shows for me.
Oh my God, I would.
Wish I could. Bed here. This bed. I do not get to sleep in this bed at all. So it's like.
Neither do I. I don't get to sleep in my bed either. My cat ruins it every day. But he's out.
I've got a dog, and his name's Murphy, and he's about 2 years old now, but he is the size of like a Labrador Retriever. Like, he's the biggest baby known to mankind, and the problem is that he is just the most excited baby dog, but he's massive. So when he just comes like bounding up to you and jumping on you, and you're like, you are a full-size man. Like, you cannot be doing this.
He just comes every morning. Full on. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, he just bounds in. I'm sorry, you're supposed to be conducting an interview.
No, this is great.
Cups of coffee.
I always say to me, like, I feel like people especially with interviews, like, there's so many people that jump right into it. And I just feel like it's not the way to be, you know. Like, you got to get to like you want to try to like lessen any nerves or any like
schmooze me a little bit, you know, butter me up.
I gotta ease into it. I feel like that's the best way to do it. Otherwise,
take me out to dinner.
Yeah. I'm gonna wine and dine you, Jordan. So you got it. But
end of flashback.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have North Road with us today, and he can say his name and what he does in the band.
Hi, Brandon, and hi, everyone. I'm Jordan Calloway from the band North Road, and I do the vocals.
Oh,
the singy stuff.
And the screamies, you know? Can't leave those out.
And the screamies.
You do both.
No. Equal representation.
I want to give a shout out to Ophelia. She is the MVP. You know, I love her first and foremost. Secondly, listen, I love Australian bands. I feel like that is not a surprise to anybody here on the channel. And if you've been along recently, you know, you may have seen an influx of Australian bands, which, you know, I might be a pseudo Australian by this point, by having so many Australian bands. So that she is the gateway. So big shout outs to Ophelia. I love her. She's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So
she's the best, man. Yeah.
She is great. I would have to, like I said, I'm hoping to make a trip to Australia at some point. So we're going to have to make the gathering of Audio Addiction at some point. But wanted to give a shout out to Jordan. I did check out some North Road tracks. And listen, this is a band. If by the end of this interview, if you don't check them out, I don't want to say I'll be disappointed, but, I'll be disappointed, because they're a band that you should know about. And this is the reason why I do these interviews is so, like, you can find out about these bands, and then you can be the envy of all of your friends when you're like, yeah, I heard about North Road, and now they're killing it. So, who told you first? me and possibly however many friends you share it with, you know? So listen, you want to be on the ground level of North Road, you're at that point right now. You can be cool, like, you know, like myself. And I think that's a pretty fair, worthy prize, you know?
You're the coolest kid in school, Brandon, for sure.
I don't feel like I am, but we're gonna sure test that will tonight. But Jordan, I wanted to know, I'm a huge nerd about most things, but more specifically music. But I wanted to know, how did North Road start out? I love a good, like, just how a band forms, how they come together. You know, like I said, I'm very nerdy about this sort of stuff. You know, it's the one thing that I just gravitate towards. So I wanted to know, like, you know, how you found all of your members and like how North Road started out.
Hey man, I'm the exact same. Like when I
Oh,
find a band that like I'm interested in, I just like I have to find out everything about it. It's like the lore, you know?
oh
It's
yeah,
like you want to know the origin story. Like
oh
what's
yeah.
more famous about Batman than like how he became Batman, you know? Like it all influences
Couldn't have said it better
the
myself,
story
honestly.
and like yeah, man, dead parents. It's not quite that extreme on our side, but
I hope that's not how
yeah,
your
I
yeah.
mean,
I hope that's not how your band started out. You're like, yeah, so all of our parents died in this really horrific crash, and but we were the only survivors, so we decided to name our band after North Road, which is where the plane crashed at.
the road that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
all crashed on.
Oh my god, that would be very terrible, and you shouldn't do that if that did happen to you.
No,
I would hope that you would not do
no,
that, but
yeah, no.
it would make for an interesting story
Here we are.
nonetheless. Yeah.
I'd say, but yeah. So there's four members. There's John, our drummer, Billy, our guitarist, Lucas, our bassist, and me. And Lucas, Billy, and I all went to the same high school,
Hmm.
and like we, you know, drifted in and out of similar friendship groups or whatever, and eventually Billy and Lucas started just jamming together. And then Billy was like, "Hey, I've got this family friend. Like he plays the drums. Let's form a band." So those three created North Road effectively, and started playing together. And then eventually, I think it was like just out of high school, I believe, I was doing some like solo stuff. I come from like
Oh.
a pop music background, so
Okay.
I was invited to play at like a friend's house party, just doing some random songs or whatever, and they also got invited. So we were like, okay, let's hit two birds with one stone. Jordan, you come on and sing with us, and then from there, they were just like, hey, dude, like come join our band. Like we don't have a singer. And I was like, okay. I didn't really, I had to like invalidate myself here, but I wasn't big into metal at the time, and I kind of learned
Okay, that would make
I
sense.
kind of
Yeah.
learned
Yeah.
look, I think like my earliest memory of listening to anything like extreme music is I was like really into like Pierce the Veil and stuff, like
Oh, okay.
early
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like my introduction. But then after that, you know, Lucas and I would drive up North Road to go rehearse. And
Yeah.
he would just show me all of these bands, and eventually he wore me down, and I was like, okay, this shit kind of slaps. Am I allowed to swear? Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
Or are we gonna get
Yeah.
demonetized?
It's all right. I make
Okay.
about this much money from YouTube, so I do it for the love of bands. So I'm not saying go
I
curse up
love
a
that.
storm, but you know, I'm also saying like you can curse, you know. We're not a kid-friendly
I'll
channel.
show some self-restraint, but you know, as an Australian, I'm sure you understand as an honorary Australian, it's a part of our day-to-day vocabulary.
It's a rite of passage, yeah.
It really is. It
Yeah.
really is. Maybe you should throw some swear words out because that'll show me that you're an actual Australian.
Yeah, this is fucking North Road, guys. You gotta check them out.
Hell yeah! Let's go. Perfect. So yeah, that's our little villain origin story, and then yeah, we just started playing, and
I hope
we used to
it's
be
not.
like a punk band. We used to be a punk band, and then through COVID, because Melbourne got hit really,
I'm
really
sure, yeah.
badly, we were just like, okay, let's play this smart. Let's do a big old rebrand. Come back with some heavier stuff, and the rest is history, man.
What kind of made you go more into the heavier direction? Was there any sort of like, was like maybe some of the North Road stuff before you guys, before COVID and stuff like that, did that kind of transition and was getting heavier over time and you're just like, let's just fully dive into it. Let's get heavier. Like we can go crazier,
I think it was really just our influences changed. We used to listen to a lot of like grunge, so like a lot of Alice in Chains, a lot of Silverchair. We've really wanted to be like a Silverchair cover band, basically.
Wow.
And then, that kind of shifted and we got more into like the nu metal stuff. And John, our drummer specifically, was kind of like the first person to really get into like what we now effectively know as metalcore. And like he kind of influenced everyone else. But then, yeah. And so after that, we were just like, this is really sick music. We should try making this really sick music. And as it turns out, it's something that we all really, really enjoy doing. And then, at the time I couldn't really scream. And so like COVID was a great chance for me to learn how to do that. And then, we went into record and luckily enough, I kind of figured it out by then. And yeah, we just started making the music we like. But, I use the term metalcore very, very loosely because like it's what even is that anymore?
We don't
It's
know.
like
I don't know. That's like what is the meaning of life? We should somebody should just make a shirt. What is metalcore? I think I'll do it. So
what even is it, man? Like we essentially make like rock songs with breakdowns. That's what we like.
That's pretty close. That's a pretty good summation of of metalcore. Depending
pretty
on,
much.
like, what type of...
I mean, at least like now, metalcore goes. It's kind of like pop. How like it goes through waves of like it's always pop, but the influences change. Like I would say, not to get into it too much, but like I would say like from like the late like noughties to like early 2010s, like pop music was very like dance based. Like you had a lot of like Calvin Harris and David Guetta and stuff that was considered pop, but it was dance music. But then from like 2013 onwards, it became more hip hop influenced. So it's like it's kind of just metalcore and like metal as a whole is the same thing. It's like before I feel like metalcore was very influenced by gent and like progressive metal, but now we're kind of seeing like Bad Omens and like stuff like that going more of like a rock direction with more rock influence or post-hardcore influence. So it's like these things are like cyclical, I would say.
I would also say
to go on like a tangent.
No, this is great. I love it. I do feel like metalcore right now is just fluid. Like you can have a band that's just like a little bit more hardcore, bands that I think of like Gideon, like Alpha Wolf, those sorts of bands are just like, okay, they're like Kublai Khan, you're like they're more on that hardcore end of the scale. And then you have like Bad Omens, you have like North Road, you have go check them out. You have those, you have that styling, and that's more, I feel like, even borrowing a little bit from like modern pop right now, which is like the way that kind of the songs are structured out, the way that like songs hit in some way. And that was probably one of the biggest things, along with your voice, was something that really kind of struck me about North Road, was that like you guys were really taking kind of that more pop centric approach to like kind of maybe the vocals or the structures of the songs, but then still being very metalcore, having like really big open like parts where it's like hitting, and so I feel like you take influences from that, where like pop music is like really in your face and really punchy, and I think that's the same kind of approach that you guys take in terms of the writing, where it's just like in your face, but like it's not like drenched in a bunch of like reverb, or it's not like it has a lot of clarity to it. So I think the fact that you guys kind of borrow those same sort of aspects from pop music, I think translates very well. Obviously, we all know how like popular Bad Omens has gotten, within the past couple years, So I think that kind of sound, or at least the process of going about music in that way, has kind of unlocked those doors. And I feel like you guys are definitely on that sort of trending side of things, where I think you are borrowing from pop, but not like, if you don't listen to pop on a regular basis, you might not be able to pick up on those things, which is good.
For
Um,
sure,
but I
100%.
but I also feel at the same time, like if you do listen to pop and you do listen to metal music, you can find those kind of like bridges, or like kind of moments where you're like, oh, that's cool. That's like that definitely feels like something pop centric, but they like tooled it in like a metalcore way, and that's awesome. I don't know
Thanks,
if I
man. I
North
mean,
Road.
that's like such a
I don't know if I like nailed the North Road like to a
dude.
T.
No, you really did. Like like I said, we were like really strategizing throughout COVID of like, especially like the image and like what we wanted to portray as our personal style of music. And I like from day one have just been like, we are like, let's make it pop. Like not in the sense that like we just need to make straight up pop music, but like the way we dress, like the lyrics, the structure and the melodies, like we want to make all of that like accessible and we don't want just like metal fans like listening to our music. We want everyone to be able to
Sure.
find something in there. And I use the term anchors like very frequently when it comes to my songwriting, where people who may not be exposed to this genre need something to hold them down when they're
Sure.
listening to this music that they can see as like something familiar. And so like, if someone listens to like, I don't know, any pop artist, you can find something that you like from there in our music, and that's what kind of brings you over. And then you're exposed to all these other elements that maybe you haven't been prior to, but you'll always have that one thing where you're like, oh, this kind of sounds like something I've listened to from this end of like the
Sure. Yeah.
spectrum. And that's essentially what the anchor is. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but
No.
it's you need something, you need a sense of familiarity when you're exposing people to something they haven't been exposed to before. And because, making something jarringly experimental is going to turn a lot of heads away immediately.
Sure.
But if there's always something there that they know and that they're comfortable with, then they're more likely to stick around for the stuff that maybe they haven't been exposed to prior.
No, I 1,000% agree with that. I think at least what I kind of come to know about North Road, I kind of find similarly to, as you mentioned earlier, Bad Omens. I'd also say like another band that's seeing a lot of popularity, like Sleep Token. I think what you guys are doing is just being like a gateway into heavier music.
Yeah,
Like you
man.
have those moments where
Mm.
you're like, okay, like these are heavy parts, and like the person that maybe doesn't listen to heavy music would be like, I don't know if this is right. But I think you guys have a way about it where it works well within the song. And I think like, as kind of like a peak in a song, like you wanted to have that sort of energy, and you want to kind of force the energy to kind of come out in that way. So I do feel like your songwriting really benefits from having that kind of stronghold on, maybe like a nice breakdown or like a large chorus that really hits. And then again, that kind of mirrors that pop ideology where you're like, okay, when people listen to pop music, like they want a big chorus or they want like a huge bridge or something like that. I think you guys kind of take the same sort of like mental thought process of like, okay, like we want to make pop music but heavy. And I think there's, at least I'm not like a genre like just aficionado, but I will say like for myself, like bands that kind of fit this category, I kind of lump them into a new genre that I've just deemed heavy pop, which is just like
Yeah, man.
basically like pop music, but it has like eight strings or it has seven strings, or moments where like there's just like this insane punch to it that like I think the average person would be like really stoked to listen to, but again, may not be really into heavy music as a whole, but it gives them that opportunity to be like, hey, look, this is an opportunity to kind of look through the looking glass. Like you can see like not every heavy artist is just a bunch of screaming blast beats, like aggressive stuff. If you want that, that's there.
You can get it.
You can get it.
Yeah,
There's
for
no
sure.
shortage of bands that do that, right? 100%. I'll die. Like there will probably be bands that will still do that until I die, and well beyond
Straight up.
that point. But I always got to give a lot of credit to the bands that are kind of in that like gray area where I feel like it's so difficult to either like give in and be a heavier band or like to go soft and do more of the pop stuff. And I mean that's no shit against anybody else. Like I love when bands kind of go a little bit softer or go a little bit heavier, but I think you really have to give a lot of kudos to the bands that really just plant themselves in the middle and just plan on staying in that gray area where they can kind of experiment. And I hope that people kind of see that and are like, shit, that's cool. I like that. Like it makes it, at least for me, it makes it more exciting and more like revitalizing to know that there are still bands out there that are like, we want to change people's perspective on pop music. And though we maybe aesthetically kind of look more like a pop band, is there any way that we can kind of convert those people that like are fringe pop fans into like heavier music lovers, And I think that's at the end of the day, I think you can't argue with that. I love that. That's great. That's why I
Yeah,
joined.
man.
That's why I do this. I love just being able to speak to bands that like just are just a ton of screaming, or bands that sing and have big choruses and all this sort of shit. It's awesome. So I think it makes everybody diverse and makes the listening experience a lot more enjoyable, I'd argue.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're really eloquent. You've got a really good way with the words.
Thank you.
You've clearly been, yeah. It's really good to be able to observe, the trends and the currents of like, what is going on in the larger like music world as a whole, rather than just the metal scene. Like it's super important to be able to expose yourself to everything else, and that can inform like incredibly creative decisions within your genre. But a lot of people, they listen to the one genre or the one artist that they like, and then that is the pool that you are drawing influence from. You want to make sure that pool is as large and diverse as possible, so that you're allowing yourself every opportunity to excel in like whatever you're doing. The very first two songs that we released, the first one was like it's called Wearing Thin, and it was this big pop rock thing with a breakdown, right? And people really, really liked that. And then, from the jump, we were like, okay, we're going to put out this like quite accessible song, so people can kind of get an idea of all the little things that we do. And then we dropped a song called Worm, which is just an abrasive metalcore, fast, Slipknotty, yeah, and it's just screaming basically. And like we wanted to come out of the gate being like, do not like funnel us into, don't pigeonhole us. We want to show you that we can do the accessible stuff, and we can do like the really hard, like crazy shit that goes wild live. Like we don't want there to be this gradual like, oh, they started heavy and then they got softer, or they started soft and then got heavy. Like we just want to be like, we can drop like anything we want, and people will be like, that's North Road. Like that's a huge deal for us. And it seems like, at least so far, that's been an expectation for us, which is something that we really hold value to.
Yeah, no, I feel like you guys are kind of going you kind of you're you're freezing a little bit. Okay, wait. I think we're good. We're good.
I think we're good.
I feel like Jordan, North Road as a whole, I feel like you guys are very much doing one of, I would say, or one of the pioneer bands, Bring Me the Horizon. I feel like you guys are very much in the same lane of like, let's just do what we want to do. Like we can have a song that's a little bit more popular that, you know, Ollie sings on, and then you can have one that's just like stupid heavy that, you know, people are like, yeah, this is like, oh, Bring Me the Horizon, I love this shit, you know, like I think I think for me, it's like you have to have those moments because I think it leads to people having an unexpected perception of your band. And I think that's always good because you don't want to feel like that one band that releases the same album 3 times in a row. Nobody likes that shit. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
man.
You know, I'd rather
Yeah.
have you go through that experience, have an album release, and like maybe I might not like it, but I might like the next one after that. You know, it's about finding kind of that road or that journey. You know, North Road. Just saying, links below. That was a good
Bam,
joke,
bam, bam,
right?
bam,
I
bam,
got
bam,
you.
bam,
I
bam.
got you guys. You see, I got you. Can't be too sure. No, but I feel like you got to have those moments because I think it's important. I think it's important for the culture of a band. Like you don't I don't feel like when I see a band on stage or I see them in music videos, like I want to know that they're enjoying what they're making. You know, whether or not it's like an unspoken truth or not. Like I want people to know like they give a fuck about the things that they write, whether it be something a little bit more popular or just like stupid heavy. I want them to have the same level of investment in what they do because for me as a fan, like I just want the band to post what they want to post about. Like, you know, whatever, if it's a song that I like or a song that I don't like, that's outside of the point. Like, if they're enjoying what they're writing about, I think that's a big thing, and I think sometimes a lot, you know, a lot of the times as a fan, you kind of insert yourself in a situation where you're like, "Oh man, they're not as heavy as they used to be. I wish they went back and they wrote this heavy album." Like, you know, and I think that that's just like as much as I would probably want that as well. It's like I'd rather have them take the time to innovate and to really think about what they do because I think sometimes the best music that comes out is when a band kind of reflects and is like, okay, listen, like we've been writing this type of shit for a long time, and like either you know we have a bunch of fans that really enjoy those albums, and that's great, but like we're not in it anymore. Like we don't feel like we want to do this the way that you hear this. So we are going to take a chance and we're going to try something different. And if we do well, great. If it flops, then at least I know I'm writing stuff that I care about. And I'd rather have a band come out and say that shit than to just again write the same record over and over again for people to just be like, "Oh man, I really wish they'd just step out of the box and write something different." Like I feel like as an artist, you're like you can't really win because like some person's gonna want you to write the same album 3 times and the other person is just gonna be like, I want something different every time. So I think you can't have the cake and eat it too, unfortunately. But I think that if you find some level of medium between the two, like that's amazing, you know. And I think that's what makes some of the, at least arguably for myself, I can speak for me, like that's what makes some of the best records to me is the bands that kind of find that like just straight shot in the middle, like enough experimentation, but also enough like patronage to like older fans and being like, listen, we still love you guys. We still want to write a heavy damn track. We're gonna do it, you know. But we also want to do like some more pop, like pop adjacent stuff. So can we do that? And then they just do it, and then it's just fucking
Yeah,
sick. And
man.
it's
I
like
mean,
everybody gets it.
that's the anchor though. That's
Yeah,
the anchor. You know, it's like you're giving there's elements that people are familiar with, but then you're being like, okay, I'm gonna put a fresh coat of paint on it and be
yeah.
like, you know, there's something if you're listening and you're looking for that thing that you know us for, you'll find it. But you also just gotta look a little harder because we're throwing new
You gotta
stuff at
dig a
you at the
little
same
deeper, you
time.
know.
And
You gotta dig deep through
yeah,
the
and
catalog. I
that's
got you.
that's good. Like I think some of my favorite albums and favorite artists like I didn't like at first. I didn't like a specific like an album or I didn't like this artist because I was like I like their old album or I like, you know, their old music. But eventually I was like, no, like there's still that old stuff in their new work, but maybe my ears just need to, or my taste just needs to develop. And I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but like, you're allowed to not like music. You're allowed to not like what we're doing. Like, I'm not saying that, oh, you just need to work harder, you don't understand it. You need to have a very high IQ to understand North Road.
You need to go to school, and you need to know that North Road, whatever they release, it's 10 out of 10 bangers, the most fire shit you've ever heard in your entire life. Yeah.
Yeah, we make music for intellectuals only. No, like it's not that at all, man. It's just, it's like, if you like, I don't know, if you like The Word Alive, or you like any of these other bands, there will be parts of that in your listening experience with our band, but it's just going to be slightly different. But you can't let that deter you away, because you might find that, you know, you like some of those new elements more, or you like it's like your taste develop over time. And so, like, one listen to an album isn't going to be the same if you listen to it a year later, because you're coming in with a new set of eyes and ears. And so, like, I think that's another excuse me, I think that's another like positive thing about experimenting and releasing different music at different times, and just never really funneling yourself into one genre or one sound, is that like people can go back to, you know, your releases 5 years ago and be like, this makes sense to me now. Like, it didn't make sense to me when it came out, but it does now. And there's something like very, very beautiful about that shelf life of old music, or music that continues to be made, that will always have new listeners and new fans, because people develop, people change.
Sure.
And like, I know for sure, like, my taste has changed like extremely. My favorite band, like, for like 5 years was Coldplay. Like, that was kind of the reason I like got into making music. And now, like, I listen to, you know, Loathe. Like, how the hell did that happen?
Oh my God.
I saw that t-shirt. Let's go. Like it's crazy. And like, there's no pipeline. There's no like correct path or narrative. It's just, I don't know. It's just a beautiful thing, I guess. And I just love that people will always find our music when they need it. It's kind of like, I've been watching a lot of Harry Potter recently. You know how like Dumbledore is just like, Hogwarts will always have a place for those who seek it, or something. He has that like one quote. We're Hogwarts. It's like,
let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. I digress, but it's very, very cool, man. And I'm very excited, and people seem to really, really like. Oh, wait. Are you breaking up?
I'm here. I'm here. We're still here.
That's okay. I think that's a good cue for me to shut up. I'm breaking Discord.
No. I feel like it's intercontinental lag, so that's just the beauty of talking to people in Australia, you know. So I love it.
Where are you from in the States?
I am from Pennsylvania, so we are like really just
Nice.
we're just trying to power through. The internet is just like, oh my God, we can barely keep the lines open, you know, like. So.
Dude, we have the worst internet in Australia. It is so bad. Like, it's crazy.
Well,
like,
listen, don't jinx it, Jordan. All right, we need to keep this. We need to keep this the way it is. You know, I don't need you to just like dip out of a call or whatever. You know, I'm knocking on wood. We're good.
Listen, man, if we keep lagging, I'm gonna like climb to the top of a power line and just continue doing.
I just see you turn the camera and you're outside and you're like moving the thing around. You're like, is this better? Is this better? Oh my God. But no, I liked a lot of your points, and I think for me it's like, I also find that same sentiment about like your change, like your musical change evolves. You like the way that you look at music kind of changes as you get older. And I think also the same point, I think the the bad ideology of bands listening to like pop music or indie music or music that isn't metal music, I think has gone away. I'd argue like a
I
large
agree.
majority of bands,
Totally.
like I think bands are way more open about talking about different artists that aren't, I would argue like for the amount of bands that I've interviewed over like my 7 year, 10 year here on YouTube, like I would say like a large majority of artists are like, I like if I'm in the heavy music, I'm not listening to heavy music, like I'm listening to other stuff that is not metal music because I make and play metal music. And I think that's such a cool like thought, because if you had asked like maybe 5 years ago or maybe a little bit longer than that, like everybody would be like, yeah, so I listen to like the Devil Wears Prada and I listen to this band and this metal band. And nothing against them. I love those bands. I'm
No, no,
still going to have
no.
a lot of
Totally,
love and a lot of
totally.
heart for them. But I think it's like, to me, I love the fact that bands now are just so much more open to just being like, we're just gonna listen to whatever the fuck we want to listen to, and this is gonna be the stuff that kind of defines our music, and so I think it's an important step that I feel like a lot of bands are taking, and I hope that if your band is somehow in the archaic ages and doesn't listen to other music outside of metal, I would recommend doing it because there's a lot of great bands out there that aren't in the metal genre. And I mean, there's tons of great bands in the metal genre, including, North Road, which you could check in the description, down below. Go check it out, but like I think for me it's like those types of bands, your type of band, Jordan. I feel like those are the types that I think will see a lot of growth over the next couple months, I'd argue, just because I think that there's just so many bands that are cross-pollinating with different genres, and I think you guys have a very good way of not only I think taking the heavier aspects of like metalcore music, but also again taking a lot of great cues from pop music. I think some of the bands that at least jogged my memory in terms of like bands I feel like you kind of have a similarity to, or like I would associate your band with. I know you did mention the Word Alive, but I feel like more of their newer stuff. I feel like you guys definitely kind of tap into that sort of potential. I'd also say another band I feel like you guys kind of resonated with me with was another band called Kingdom of Giants, especially like their last album. It really kind
Yeah, I
of
know
gives
Kingdom
me
of
it kind
Giants.
of gives me that sort of vibe, which I
Yeah,
love.
for sure.
And then the last one, I'd probably say that's a tough one. I'd probably say you guys kind of pull from um I would say like a Holding Absence type band. I
Dude.
would say like that kind of vibe, but I would say like you guys are definitely more in the sort of heavier, like more pop stuff. I would
Yeah,
say probably
yeah.
maybe more a little bit closer to kind of like an Issues sort of stuff vibe.
Yeah, for
And
sure,
I'm
for
about
sure.
it. I know in the email they mentioned Bad Omens, which I mean I feel like is I feel like a necessary like
It's
counterpoint, but I would
it,
say the
it's
bands
its
that
own
I mentioned, I think I
yeah.
I think I think I nailed it.
Yeah, man. I mean, we all really got into Holding Absence,
Oh, okay,
pretty
perfect. Yeah.
hard. Yeah. So you're right. I was hoping you would say them. I think that's a really good to extrapolate Holding Absence from our sound is I think really good because I don't think we sound like them, but it's like it's capturing that same mood and that
It's
it's
that
capturing that
magic,
same
yeah. You
vibe.
you have that like
Yeah,
Holding Absence magic. We talked about
Yeah,
Harry Potter,
exactly. Just a
but
little,
just
just
a
a little,
little, like a little, yeah, yeah.
yeah, man.
Little
I think
moments
it's
of
and I
Lucas. I got you. Yeah,
oh man, he is
he
unbelievable.
is. Yeah.
Like oh, and yeah, I think that there is a huge shift in the public perspective of metal music. I think that the Bad Omens, the Day Seekers, the bands like that you have to give credit to Bring Me the Horizon, obviously, for kind
Oh, sure.
of
Yeah.
ushering in this age where it's still metal. It will always be metal, but so many more people are exposed to our genre now, more
Agreed.
than ever. And it comes back to what I was saying about, music being cyclical in a sense, because I see this new trend and this new wave of these massive viral metal artists it's kind of similar to like your like early 2000s, late 90s, like nu metal.
Yeah,
like
I would agree.
back when like nu metal was like, I mean, I wasn't alive, but like back when like nu metal was like it was pop. Nu metal was pop.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that again. And I think that's like, I'm so excited to be in a time where that is happening, because I think the ceiling for metal bands and metal artists is just raising. Like, I think we're gonna see like this exponential growth. And like, when has there ever been metal bands from like before 3 years ago where they can go viral on TikTok? Or viral on any social media? Like, it never happened.
Or like
it's
sell
now.
complete tours out. You know what I mean? Like that in and of itself is nuts. Like Bad Omens selling out their entire tour and then going on tour again.
Knock Loose, bro.
Like Knock Loose playing Coachella, you know, Scowl playing Coachella. Like I think if you are in the scene, like you're eating. Like this is prime time for you to eat. You know what I mean? Like we're like Bring Me the Horizon just released a track to like today as of the day we're recording.
Did you listen to it?
I have not. No.
So I'm
doing a video on it. So I'm excited. I'm very excited to give that one.
It's so cool, man.
I'm excited.
So cool.
I've like I said, I loved their last EP. I loved Amo. Like I know a lot of people were on the fence about it, but again, as you mentioned earlier, Jordan, I feel like they're the trendsetters. You know, they really have been at the forefront of just kind of shifting the genre, for so long, you know, they've always had their needle on the pulse and really knew how to like shift into the next spot, you know, and they were like,
they are 5 years.
Yeah.
They are 5 years ahead of any other band.
Yeah.
Like people, Bring Me the Horizon can release something and people will be like, I hate it. And they'll be like, check back with us in 5 years.
Yeah.
Like,
and then they'll be like,
happens.
yo, that song's so sick. I can't believe I that's wild. Like, can you, like, I re-listened to some, like, because at work I'm, like, able to listen to just music, so I went back and I listened to some, like, older albums, and so I went back and listened to, like, Sepulturnal, I went back and listened to, like, That's the Spirit, and I was just like, God, these are so good, like, and I liked them when they released, but, like, I went back and listened to them, and I'm like, wow, you figure out how many bands have kind of done that same sort of changeover, right? And you're like, this shit was released like way before anybody thought we should shift gears into doing that. So I think they always excite me because I think they're always willing to be, maybe if not the first, but like very early adapters to just trying to do something different and trying to like change the game up in a way that I feel like people don't appreciate in the moment, but maybe appreciate later on. And they're like, oh, okay, shit. Like now this is.
Well, it's also like, I think that they're a big megaphone for genres and stuff. So it's like anytime they incorporate something that's a little more niche, they make it pop and they make it popular. Like I would say, like, especially you'll hear in the new song, like there's a lot of glitchcore and like hyperpop influence, and like even from Posthuman, like one what was it, the Kingslayer song with Baby Metal, like very hyperpop, like it had that real hyperpop sound, but like people wouldn't have listened, especially not Bring Me the Horizon's fan base or demo, I guess. They wouldn't have listened to that, but they will now because Bring Me the Horizon made it fucking cool.
Yeah,
and like
I'd agree.
It's so sick. And like again, it's like I don't think we would have bands like Bad Omens or Dayseeker or even like Holding Absence if it wasn't for like That's the Spirit. You know,
I would
like that stadium rock sound is what is now influencing metalcore, and it's and again, it's like That's the Spirit is like, I would say that their albums have aged incredibly well.
Agreed.
And people are turning around and being like, okay, Ammo is like really, really cool. But I feel like That's the Spirit is still kind of swept under the rug a little bit. When in reality, that is like the key influence
of
like the metalcore scene as a whole.
Yeah, that's Patient Zero. Yeah,
it's
100%.
crazy.
Yeah,
it's straight up Patient Zero. That's like, it's wild, man.
It's awesome. I love to see it. You know, I think I
Yeah.
think for a band that literally I had seen them at Warp Tour, you know, like I've seen them kind of throughout the ages. Again, that ages me very poorly. I am 30 years old, so like you know, I know my age, all
You
right?
look
Like,
great. You look
oh,
great
thank
for
you.
30, man.
Oh,
You look really good.
man. And I was
I
gonna
mean,
say
I hate to
the
make
thing about
you.
you, Jordan. Like, I was just like, God, man. I'm like, what a hottie alert, you know? I'm like,
Oh, stop.
I was like, man, I wish.
Stop.
And he's got the Australian. Man, I can't even. No competing, you know. So
Dude, I've got like a very, very weak Australian accent. Like, it
I
is
would
not your
disagree with
like,
that. I don't know. I feel like you got.
obviously.
I
Yeah,
don't talk
like
to
I could throw it on. I
You
could
could
bloody
irritate him.
throw it on and be like, "This, mate. Like, this is what you think of when you think of an Australian
No,
accent."
no,
But
no,
like,
no.
I don't speak like that.
Yours is primo stuff. I like it. You know,
Thank you
you got
very
a nice
much.
like you know. I think it's just the vocalist in you. You know, you got the tone. You know, so I got it. You know.
I'm always like, I speak like I'm singing. I'm very
Oh
melodic.
yeah, you're putting me to sleep right now. I'm gonna yeah.
Ooh, should I do like a ebook or something?
Yeah, yeah, I'll have Jordan read the outro for me and be like, "Hey, I'll,
Yeah,
I'll
man.
just do
No,
it."
I can't wait to. I've like for some reason I've really wanted to be 30 years old. Like I feel like that's a really good age to be. How has 30 been treating you? I'm
30
curious.
you know what, it's not bad. I think when I was going through a rough patch in my like late 29 years of age, so I feel like I really had kind of like it was like August, September, that's really when my brain shifted and was like, okay, listen, you're gonna be fucking 30 in the new year. Like we need to like kick that ass into shape. You know what I'm saying? So I started going to the gym. You know, I started like
Oh
being a
yeah.
lot healthier. And so I feel like for me, it's just like that's kind of like I was in a bad spot, you know, personally. So I feel
Mhm.
like as I kind of got out of that and really kind of found my own footing and stuff, um, I think that's when I really kind of like realized it's just like this is like I feel like I was like you know a horse with like guiders. Like I knew I needed to like just
Yeah,
you
tunnel
know
vision.
stay tunnel vision. Yeah, exactly. Like I had to stay the course and just go for it. So I think that my 30s right now have been pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie, you know. So I feel like I'm grateful. I think for me, it's just like I'm just grateful to continue to still interview bands. Like I think that was something that had scared me, you know, pre-COVID. You know, once everything started to
Mm.
happen, I think I was getting a little concerned on my future of doing YouTube and interviewing bands. So I really take this, you know, as every day's you know, it's cheesy as it sounds.
A
Like
blessing.
I take it as a blessing
Yeah.
because I feel like I get to talk to people that I normally would never have the opportunity to talk to. Like I would have never met Jordan, and he's a sweetheart. So like for me, it's like that's a great thing, and like he's in a sick band called North Road. I mean, like what else? Check the links below, guys. He's great, you know. Like and he's Australian, so I feel like you get a point for that, just in and of itself.
It's
But
something in the water over here, man. Like it's just every single day I learn about a new band out of like Australia, and
it's
it's
wild,
crazy
man.
because
You
like
guys
the
got
world
some
seems
fancy
to
water.
know. Yeah, straight. We're all drinking Voss,
Oh,
like.
sick. Okay, I got to come
um,
over there now.
yeah, it's wild. Like, and it seems like the world knows. Like, it's crazy, and
Oh yeah.
we've always kind of known that like we are incredibly grateful to just be like here as this is happening. Like, and right around my doorstep is like three other bands that like I've come to know as like my good friends, and like we play together, and it's just wild, man. And it's like I'll go to like my local shopping center and spot like some of the biggest artists in like our scene. It's like, and I'll like text my like the boys group chat and be like, yo, guess who I just saw? Like I just came for a haircut. Like it's wild. And yeah, it's super, super
That'd
cool,
actually
man.
be
I
kind of
love it. And
sick. I'd kind of freak
yeah,
out probably. Just you know, I have
it's
a little fangirl
crazy.
moment,
It's
you know.
crazy. Yeah, and I do. Like, I'm like, oh my God, don't look now, don't look now. But like, Josh Smith from Northline has just walked out of like a Uniqlo, like,
You're like, oh my God, he's buying the shirt that I'm gonna buy. We like accidentally touch hands. They're like, oh, sorry, man.
Sorry. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Yeah. And he's just like,
But
are you grabbing this shirt? Do you want it? Like, it's the last medium, man. You know, like. Oh
I'm not fitting into a medium anytime soon.
I
man.
feel that.
Don't worry about that.
You know, it's all about.
But dude, I'm really glad
gains,
to hear.
You know, it's
I'm
in a large
it's bulking
now.
season.
You know,
fuck yeah. Hey, that Loath shirt looks really good on you, man. It looks
oh
really
my God, man, listen. Now I'm gonna pay a compliment to Jordan. All right, so listen, I don't know. I'm gonna go on like a Jordan like just like love bomb here, but like how
Let's
like
go.
listen, how is Jordan so sexy and then also sings and screams so well? Like was God just like, all right, here's a little extra for Jordan. Oh, he's Australian. Okay, give him a little extra. You know, like I feel like I'm like a halfway decently good person, but man, like I see myself next to Jordan here, and I'm like,
oh,
I don't know if I can compete.
Stop
you know?
it. Hey, comparison is the thief of joy, my friend.
Oh.
It's like you are beautiful.
Oh.
You've got a lovely smile, and you're an excellent interviewer. And I've really enjoyed. You bring like a very positive attitude. I could tell just even from like the texts beforehand. I'm like, I'm gonna have fun because I really bounce off of people's like energy, and like you're really cool, man.
Oh, thank you.
I really appreciate I appreciate being here. I'm grateful, and I'm really happy to hear that 30 is treating you well. And I look
hope your
forward
30s treat you well. You know, I'm gonna pass off that good energy
I've still got
too. You know, I'm gonna take it all and pass it off through the camera. You know.
I've still got 8 years before I'm there. But
oh my God!
It's,
wow. Man.
Yeah, I get that a lot. It's the beard.
Yeah, I feel. I can't grow the beard, so that's why that's why
use a derma roller, dude. I was playing a festival. We were playing a festival. Sorry.
You were just solo
a week ago, I think.
You're like, yo, what's up? Hey, it's Jordan from North Road. I'm gonna do my solo set now.
Hell yeah!
He goes up there and throws down the dancers. You know, I got you.
I got backup dancers and stuff,
I got you.
But no, I was telling a friend because he was like, "Oh, it's just like there's gaps in my beard. There's like whatever," and I'm like, "Bro, get a micro derma roller and use like minoxidil point. Like, I don't remember exactly the percentage, but like anyone can grow a beard, man. Anyone.
I'm
it's
not gonna.
hard.
I don't. I feel like I also like. Shout outs to my family, I love them, but like also anytime like my facial hair grows out, they're always like, so how long have you forgotten to shave for? Has it been like a month? Has it been like, like they give me so much.
They say it is like negligence. It's neglect.
Yeah. It's neglect, right? And so I'm just like, this has been like, I was like, this has been like 2 weeks, and they're like, wow, you grew so much more in 2 weeks, and I'm like, this is a backhand slight. I can feel it, So I just don't do it. I just don't do it, I feel like, if anything, I gotta be like you and start getting like some piercings, maybe like I was thinking like a nose ring, that I feel like
get a nose ring.
I was like, damn, Jordan's as soon as we hopped on the chat, I was like, Jordan is just fitted up, my friend. Like you are just like. God, I was just like the swag. Just
I threw it on just for you.
The swag exudes, man. You had the earrings. You got the nice chain. This is how I know this man is fashionable. He's wearing the button up collar with the tank top. That's in. I know because in my free time I watch a lot of fashion videos. So
who do you watch?
I watch everybody. But I probably say I watch. Off the top of my head, if I'm really thinking, I watch like Tim DeSant. I watch like pretty much every like fashion YouTuber right now.
Hell yeah.
I'm rocking with the fits. So I'm not saying like I could put a fit together. That's like
Dude,
that's like
good
that's
for you, man.
I feel like you
Hell
also
yeah.
can put a fit together as well. You just exude
like,
you exude that confidence. I'm like looking at Jordan. I'm like, yo, he must have like the most dope fits like on stage, like video interviews. Like, he goes hard, and I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. You're too kind. I feel like there's a lot of love right now, and I'm loving it. If you want to see our fits, it's NTH _RD at Instagram. You know, we post every day. It's you know, we've got some sick fits. I style our band now, so that's like a really fun
do you
thing.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I do. I do.
Kudos. Much
It's
respect.
so cool. My debut, my styling the band debut will come out on the 10th of May, because we're dropping the music video for our new song. Ooh. And that I styled everyone in the band, and I'm quite happy with it. But dude, like, the last year has been so focused on reinventing our image, and like the way we dress has been a huge part of that. Like, we have really deliberated over the style we want to like portray, and like nothing has made me prouder than like seeing the other boys like hop out of their comfort zones a little bit and try something a little different that they may not be used to, and getting up on stage and just that confidence exuding from them. I want that for them, because like, you know, I was a really heavy kid. You can even look at any of our like behind the scenes YouTube videos from like when we were recording our EP. I was like, I don't know the metric conversion, but like I think it was about 20 kilos heavier than I am now. I was like well over 100 kilos, which is a lot.
You're looking
Thanks,
great.
man.
Chef's kiss.
But like I used clothing to like make myself feel better. Like I was always heavy, but like I started watching, you know, fashion YouTube and stuff like that, because I was like, you know what, like I want to feel confident. I want to feel better about myself. And so at least the one thing I can like change right now is the way I dress. And like it really changed things for me. And I want everyone to be able to feel that way. Maybe not to compensate for being overweight, but like throwing on a fit, man, is just like, it makes you feel like the shit.
Yeah,
it makes you feel like the shit.
I got you. It just, you know, adds that level of confidence. I can say that for myself as well. Like, when you got a good fit going, you take a photo, you're like, ooh, chef's kiss. Yeah.
I
would take me out, you know what I'm saying? So I would listen, if Jordan was in the States, I would take this man out 100%. Wine and dine this man, you know?
Hell yeah. I mean, eventually I'm sure we'll come out to the States, and I expect I want a 5-star restaurant with,
I'll cook you up a good meal.
Red wine.
I'll cook you up a great meal, Jordan. You got it. All right.
Hell
red wine, good meal, good company.
Yeah.
We got it. We're good.
That's it. Maybe buy a fire, you know, buy a fireplace.
All right. I got you. Yeah, I got you.
You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah, I think we can put it together. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I will, you know, once the reaction video, by the time this comes out, there will be a reaction video. You can check the links in the description. But you know, I'll rate those fits. You know, I'm not gonna be one that shies away from it. I want feedback. I want to see these fire fits, because listen, I think one of the most like fitted band, if you ask me personally, I think you're up there with my personal favorite, which is Thornhill. I think they know how to just like style well. I think you guys are pretty close. I'm not gonna lie. No, you don't think so? I feel like
dude,
I think you're close.
I wish.
No.
Those boys.
You guys put it together. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I feel like it's hard because like when you're playing like in a music video, you're playing live, like, you know, sometimes sometimes you're just like, man, like they look great in the fit, but then at the same time you're like, wow, that's a lot of dedication. I feel like got to give you a lot of credit for it, but also at the same time, like, you're up there. You're up there in my heart. You know,
Thanks,
believe,
man.
you know.
Oh, stop it. We really wanted it to, especially because a huge thing was like, okay, what are we going to wear on stage? What are we going to wear off stage? How can those two look kind of like similar? Where's the cohesion?
Sure.
And also, is it practical, like on stage?
Yes.
because you know you don't want to be wearing like 3 layers and then you have to take off 2 of those layers and then you got to like unbuckle or
You have
like
to like,
untuck something and it's just like
unbutton a shirt, you got to keep unbuttoning until,
yeah,
I got you. Yeah.
all the way down.
All the way down,
Um,
shirts off, go full Adam Levine, I got you.
no, thanks. I'm good. But yeah, like practicality was a massive one for us, and so like all of our 1 to 2 layers, nice, really lightweight fabric. We want to be able to breathe on stage because in Australia it gets hot as hell.
Yes.
So like that was a huge thing for us. But yeah, fashion has been like a really big step for us, and people notice.
I noticed. I was like, damn, these guys are fitted
Yeah.
out. I like that, I'm like, that band knows
You should also check out you should also check out Banks Arcade. Have you listened to
Yes,
them?
they were just I was so pissed off because they just played pretty close to where I live, and I like just missed out on them. I was like sick, unfortunately, that weekend, and it was Banks Arcade, Thornhill, Holding Absence, and Plotting You, and that, by the way, incredible lineup, like chef's kiss.
Insane, right?
Insane lineup. Yeah.
I was checking out their vocalist. His Instagram is just like fit pics.
Oh,
it's
fire.
So sick.
Yeah.
Like he looks awesome. And like again, it's like this would have been a taboo, like 10 years ago or like 5 years ago. It's like dudes in metal actually caring about how they look and like practicing good hygiene. Are you serious? Like
that should be the
it's
clickbait thumbnail. Hygiene. Oh my god.
Hygiene. What? Metal bands use deodorant.
Smelling good.
Yeah, man.
What?
It's cool. It's really I love it, bro.
It's great.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad we got to talk about it because I feel like not a lot of band, I don't have bands on that like, get the fashion thing, I feel like most people like when they like most people don't even know this about me. So like I am revealing stuff that I feel like most people don't know about me and what I like.
That's what I want.
But yeah, I'm a huge fashion head. Any of my homies can tell you, we trade pics about like my shout out to my one buddy Elijah here. He sent me like a photo the other day and he's like, yo, which New Balances should I get? And I'm like, bro, let me
the
tell
550s or the 2002.
Let me tell you, the 2002 R,
they're so cool.
Bro,
I've been looking for a pair.
I got a pair on sale in the States here, and I was just like, bro, can't
they're
be.
So sick.
Oh, they're
so sick.
Let me tell you, listen, New Balance, if you want to sponsor both me and Jordan, we will not say no. So like that would be sick, but so like I picked up the 2002 R, and my god, man, they're not only are they stylish, people are like, yo, I love those dad shoes. And I'm like, bro, I know they're fire, man. Like I was so fortunate to get those. And then on top of that, they were on sale, which is like, I love a good sale. And then as well as that, they're like this, I'll throw a photo up and post, but like they're like gray and black with like maroon hits. Ooh, chef's kiss with like the aged midsole. Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
it's great.
dude.
I love it.
Is that one of the? It's from like that. What was that pack they did?
It
like
wasn't from It wasn't
pack.
from the protection pack. No, it's like it's like a GR. Yeah, it's like just a general release like colorway. So like, but I don't see a lot of people wearing it.
Cool.
So I love it.
That's what you want.
It's very understated.
That's what you want, man.
I feel like people like see it and they're like, wait, is that a New Balance? Is this man rocking a New Balance? And I'm like, yes, I am. I'm on a dad fit shoes. I love a good dad fit shoe, but yeah, it's wild. Like he was sending me stuff, and I said like, yeah, get the 2002 R, man. Like those things, comfortable but stylish. There's like they hit that perfect cross section of like stylish, but then like you could wear them all day and be like super comfortable in them. That's not, you
Yeah,
know, New
dude.
Balance.
Like,
Hit me up. You know, hit me and Jordan up. We'd love to.
please,
Just
please.
send us a pair of kicks. I would be down. You know, we'd be,
Oh,
in the
man.
words of Australians, we would be keen. You know, be keen.
Keen. I'd be so chuffed if I
Chuffed.
got
All
if I
right,
got a
yeah,
pair
I'd
of
be
new.
chuffed too. I don't.
Chuffed is good.
Yeah. Okay.
Chuffed is like pleased.
Yes, I would be chuffed. Yeah.
Yes, you would.
Let's
Yes, we
do
would.
it. So
I've been getting into like like heels and like dress shoes and like loafers and boots and stuff.
yeah. Okay.
Like, hold up.
I wanted to get a clean pair of loafers. Oh
They're
man,
like
those are
like
hot. I love them.
Hold up. There we go.
Oh,
It's like a platform loafer.
All right, yeah. Whew.
Yeah.
Man, you listen,
know.
man. You came out dressed to the nines. Listen, I'm just gonna
Well, dude,
call it
I
out
think
right
this.
now. I'm gonna call it out right now. Jordan is. I'm gonna say it right now. Jordan is the best dressed guest I've had on. Period. No stop.
What?
Yeah. No, there's no way. If you can beat Jordan's fit right now, God bless you. Cause I'm just telling you, man. He crushed. 10 out of 10 fit. Chef's kiss, you know. Round of applause. You know.
Oh,
I would show
stop
my
it.
fit. I
Stop
literally just have just gym shorts on.
Hell yeah. Where are the shorts from?
Well,
Where are the
these
shorts
shorts are shout outs to the homies, Rain City Drive. They're great band. They're
Oh.
awesome. I got them at a show.
Hell yeah, I'll check them out.
And then obviously, you know, the Loathe shirt, which is like, you know,
Oh,
I love, you know.
When are they gonna drop it? When are Loathe gonna drop new stuff? That's my question.
Soon. I know for
Yeah?
a fact soon. Yeah. I think soon. Yeah.
You sneaky boy. What do you know?
I can't say it in this video. That's how I'll tell you that much.
Okay,
But
okay.
but yeah, there's
record.
you know, there's something stewing. I'll tell you. I have
Good.
some sources. I have
Good.
some sources. You know, but we got terribly
Right,
off track.
How cool?
But
how
we
cool
go
is
ahead,
the,
Jordan. Sorry.
Well, how cool was the post Loathe and Paramore? You say that?
Dude, I'm waiting for a collab, man. That would be nuts. Two of my
God.
idols.
And you know, it's actually not even like that far off, because I remember Hayley Williams did Passenger with Deftones like in 2008 or something.
She did. Yeah.
Yeah. I know my stuff. Paramore was like my favorite band ever.
They're one
Like,
of my favorites. Listen,
Hayley Williams' first celebrity crush, you know.
I think for most guys,
Yeah,
I'd
I would
argue.
I would say.
Yeah, we're
know,
all
yeah,
biting. We're all
definitely.
biting for the same wife, essentially. So you know, I'm not gonna fight anyone.
Oh.
If I have to fight Jordan, I'm just gonna, you know,
No,
I'm gonna bow out
you
and
know
then give
what?
it to Jordan.
She is all yours. I am a taken man. I love
Aw.
my partner very, very much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
That's
got
good.
my own Hayley Williams.
Oh, that was adorable. I love
Heartwarming.
that. That was very heartwarming. I love that. Well, guys, let us know.
man.
Let us know. Listen, I need you to give me 3 adjectives in the comments on Jordan's fit. I need you to just, I need you to go off. I want you to tell me.
Do you just want like a full view real quick?
Oh,
It's
listen,
like
might
really,
as well.
it's really underwhelming.
Oh my God. Ooh.
It's really underwhelming.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
it
Yeah.
is.
All right. Excuse me.
And
This is
then
this is gonna get demonetized.
These
Man.
are like pleated pants. Very nice.
Listen, you did not need to flex this hard, Jordan. That's all I'm gonna say. You're really out here just trying to snap some people's necks. I appreciate that, you know.
Just yours. Just yours.
Yeah, my neck has been snapped already. So thoroughly snapped. I was like, God, I'm like, man, Jordan's crushing it. You know, I was like, if I could be like a 10th of the style game that, that Jordan can do.
Stop it. You've got 2002 Rs, which makes, you're up there. You're up there. I do not have a pair, so
okay.
you've got that on me.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Guys, let me know. I'll post a style photo here, and you can you can rate
Please,
both Jordan
I
and
want a fit pic.
We'll get the fit
Let's
pics.
put a
Yeah,
fit pic.
yeah, we got it. We
Yeah.
got it. This is the Fashion Nova episode, honestly. But the next question I have for
What
you,
even is
Jordan.
music? Am
What
I in
is
a,
music?
am I in
Yeah.
a band?
What are we
Like,
doing here? Yeah. What's it goes back to the first question. What is metalcore? Metalcore is the crossover between fashion and heavy music.
yeah.
There we go. We finished it. Full circle. All right. The
That's
next
it.
question I have for you, Jordan, is who are some of the artists that influences you now? I know you did mention early on you were like really into like Coldplay being one of the first artists that kind of inspired you to, you know, be a musician and get into that, which is a question I typically ask. So you already beat me to the punch on that one. But who are kind of the artists right now that are influencing your vocal style now?
Oh, my vocal style.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, hold up. I've got my phone here. Is it rude if I just like
No,
look up
this is
who I've been listening to?
we love on audio addiction. I absolutely love when bands take their phone out and they're like, "Yo, this is exactly who it is." That's to me, that's a point of pride.
Oh, vocal style. I mean, look, I think it's like, I definitely think like our new music that hasn't come out yet, that will come out, like Chino. I mean, like from Deftones.
Oh,
Like he's the GOAT. He's
he
the
is.
absolute GOAT. I love that man. Say like Break-Ins and
Ooh,
Eden.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. Who else? I've got like so many here. My like music taste, my day-to-day music taste is schizophrenic. Like I just need to be constantly stimulated by like different things, and it's kind of hard to lock down. Dijon, have you heard of Dijon?
Oh yes, I love Dijon.
He's
Great.
he's oh my god, what a voice. There is just, I think that like to strike a balance between just pure emotion, like
Oh,
there are songs where Dijon just sounds like he's drunk at a bar doing karaoke, and it is the most gut-wrenching thing I've
yes.
ever heard. And like to be able to do that, but also there's a lot of technicality in what he does, and like the fry, like there's a lot of a vocal fry and like cracking in his voice, and he just kind of lets his voice do whatever it feels like it needs to. I just love that. I love it so much.
It is great. Yeah, I agree.
Have I still got? Oh, you're still here? Okay. I thought I lost you, Brandon.
You didn't.
Yeah. So I'd say like Dijon, Chino. Yeah, I'd have to go Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just really like I'm all, like I said, like I like being stimulated by like a lot of different things. So really soft voices and really like harsh voices. I just adore like listening to both those ends of the spectrum. Like Chris Martin could like put me to sleep in a really good way. And then Dijon, like, he's got like this gravel, and like I've been really getting into like new like country, like Casey Musgraves has like a really pretty voice, but like
great,
dude, yeah. Anyway,
I would say I wasn't like, I would argue, and most people know this, I'm not like the biggest country fan, but I have to say like Casey Musgraves hits that like perfect sweet spot of like, if you didn't know this was country, like it would work, and it does work.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that like her music doesn't work in that way, but like she doesn't like she is a country artist, but she doesn't come across as a country artist, if that makes sense.
Well,
like,
she's like, you can just tell she's like Western.
Yes,
but
correct.
she's making pop music.
Correct.
So like
it's like kind of country
you can just
pop,
hear it.
but you can hear that it's like she's more focused on kind of like the pop like arrangement necessarily, as opposed to her having kind of more of a southern tone to her voice.
For sure. I've just thought of a couple. I've thought of a couple more. I grew up on like a lot of George Michael. George Michael from like Wham.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
He so he was like always played in my house. and he's one of the best male vocalists of all time.
I would agree. Yeah.
And Jamiroquai. Have you heard of Jamiroquai?
Oh yeah. What? Okay, I would have never got
Yeah.
that. Would have pulled that one. That's wild. All right.
Dude, like insanely sexy voice. That
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Oh,
Crushes. Yeah.
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 There's like, and I would say like old folk music, like America. If you've heard like songs like A Horse with No Name.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Melodically, and like the way I write my melodies is like very, very inspired by them for sure. I actually caught them. It was like their 70th anniversary or something, and I caught them with my dad like a few years ago, and that was just such an incredible experience.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like when I had listened to I Watch You Fade Away, and well, obviously I feel like I Watch You Fade Away is more on that melodic side of things. And that was kind of what struck me about your voice, was just that you have this kind of like really soulful energy to your voice. It wasn't like, I felt like you weren't trying, like, you could hit the high notes, but I think a lot of the strength of your voice is kind of like in that mid to high range. Like it really has that sort of like, as you mentioned, and some of the artists that, influence your vocal styling, like you can hear that sort of like warmth that you would have from like a soul artist, or like pulling from that kind of, again, that sort of pop and R&B style of music where there's just like this real like depth to the voice. And I think that, when you think about metalcore, you're like, man, how high can this guy sing, right? Like, and that's great. Don't get me wrong. I like that, it's the showstopper. People like that stuff. But I think for me, I love when an artist really, you can tell like they're really putting a lot of like soul into their voice, so you can like kind of hear again those like big notes and just kind of like that fuller sound that you get when you're like really hitting the vocal pocket well. And so I feel like you guys absolutely crushed that song. And then Threat is like a stupid heavy song that just is like the complete, again, as we talked about earlier, just the complete flip side of that. So I think I got a good mix. I'm excited to check out the new song, guys. Again, links for the reaction video in the description, but also, like links to go check out North Road, because they're also sick. And, I'm just going to continue to show for them for just a little longer here. But the next question I have for you, Jordan, is for people who aren't familiar with North Road and are checking this interview out for the first time, and they're like, man, I like Jordan. He's a real sweetheart. What song would you recommend to a new listener to check out first to give them an idea of what you guys do?
Oh, that's a good question. Look, I think there is an obligation for me to say the newest one. But
is that Ophelia's
honestly,
text? You like look at your phone. Ophelia's like, you better say the new song. No offense, Ophelia.
Better. We love you. Yeah, I would honestly say River, which is our new song that is out now. It is, I think, a very good like culmination of everything that we do well. I think it's got like probably one of the best hooks I've ever written. I think it's beautiful. It's got very good verses, but slamming breakdown at the end. It's crazy. Yeah, I think it's super melodic. It's got like, you can tell that there's like some heavier elements in there, but it's the gateway of a gateway band, really. Yeah.
And who's fronting the band? Leonardo DiCaprio, which we have right here, so like we're pulling the full on Inception, the Inception here, the joke that never ends, because we're in Inception. That was okay. I'm gonna end that bit. That was terrible. But listen, if you would like to just check out North Road, links below. I just told you that. See, again, we're going through a loop, but it's an important loop that I feel like I had to point out. So check out North Road.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it more every time you say it.
Okay,
so,
well, I'm just gonna keep saying it. Every other word is just going to be check the links in the description. The next question I have for you, Jordan, is if you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
We used to cover so many songs.
What's a
We
new
did
one? If you could
Wood.
add a new one, like just like brand new, if you were like to go play a show tomorrow, like what song do you feel like you guys would love to hear you cover? Since obviously you're on here, Jordan, I feel like you got to give your spiel, you got to do your pitch. I'm just saying, man. Hey, listen, I'm looking out for you, man.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Again, I'm bringing up my my phone.
I love it. Phone a friend.
Oh man, wow. I'll tell you what would be like really cool. I would say like Teenager by Deftones.
Ooh,
Do you know that one? It's like
yeah.
it's that like trip hop like acoustic one on White Pony.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I think that would be super super cool. Like once our
Okay.
set goes to like once we're able to like pull off like an hour and 15 minutes of a set or something. I think it would be really cool just midway to just throw in like a 2-minute acoustic like interlude
Ooh, all right,
almost
all right.
back into the heavier stuff.
I
want
that.
our like show to be as like dynamic as possible.
I love it.
And I think that would be like, I think that would be beautiful.
You're
just
really
some
pulling
like blue backlights, and just like maybe Billy, our guitarist, comes out with an acoustic and actually like plays it. Oh, it'd be so cool. It's a beautiful song.
You're really pulling a load here, I like that, the vision.
Oh, true.
I feel like
I don't want to copy. I don't want to copy.
No. You wouldn't copy
loads.
loads. I feel like you guys would have your own way about it. Anytime a band does something like I feel like in a similar lane, I just feel like they're parallel because they're never gonna be the same.
Yeah.
Thing, So I
That's
think
true.
you guys would rock it. I can visualize it. I can see it. I can see the vision.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I fuck with the vision. Since Jordan doesn't think I'm person enough, so I gotta like, be a little bit more Australian for you guys tonight,
Hey, you're an honorary. I said it at the start. You're an honorary.
Thank you.
Come down to
I'm just
Melbourne.
I'm waiting for the prime minister to hit my DMs back. I just said, "Am I Australian?"
I'm waiting for Kadeem to hit my DMs back, so I think you're probably more likely to get the prime minister before I get.
I don't
Kadeem
know, man. I don't know. Kadeem was a nice dude. Shout outs to Loath. My man Feasel, love that dude. He's my homie. Dude. Love that.
They're insane. They're so cool.
He's so cool. Love them. The next question. Yeah. Well, before we end off that question, guys, if you have any suggestions for cover songs for North Row,
please
drop them in the comments. Let your voice be known. Let them know what you are like. Man, I feel like you guys would crush a cover of this, and then drop them down below. Can't guarantee to do a cover it, but I feel like Jordan seems like a very approachable guy. I interviewing him for like past hour and a half ish. I think I would argue he's a fine gentleman. So let us know down in the comment section below. Would love to know your thoughts, but. The next question I have for you, Jordan, is what is your favorite food to eat?
Ooh. Oh. Damn, bro. All right, I've got my favorite snack is pistachios.
Oh,
I'm a massive pistachio guy.
I love pistachios.
I fucking love pistachios. I will seriously, dude, I'll get a bowl and just fill it up with pistachios and just eat all of it in one sitting. I've gotten the shell cracking down to such a fine art. I reckon for fastest pistachio eating by the liter. I'm not even kidding you right now. I am so efficient. I've expedited the process.
He's a pro pistachio eater.
Exactly.
I got you.
Yeah. For like a meal, I don't even know. I love food. My partner is like a massive foodie, and she just takes me everywhere. We'll always try a brand new place. Yeah, she's great. She's great. I would say Parmigiana.
Oh, yeah. All right. I feel like I could comment on
any
that.
Australians on the pod? like, have you had any Australians say palmy?
Yes, I feel like I can't have the horse in the race, you know. I can't say I've confirmed or denied hearing that, but I know it's a very divisive
Brandon,
topic amongst the Australians, you know. So I don't want to offend anyone, you know. That's my
I understand that.
you
I
know.
understand that. Very fair, but
I saw your
Brandon, I need
face
you
as soon
right.
as you have had a smile on your face for the entirety of this interview, but
It's
once you said,
sullied.
as soon as you knew I was gonna say that, you were like to face
No,
immediately
no.
to anger, you know.
Brandon, I need you to say to your audience right now that Palmer is the correct term. I need you to say that. You need to do that for me.
Wow,
As a
that's
friend, as a new friend,
you're
I
really
need to
trying to
hear
make me
that from you.
create some enemies here. I feel like that's not
You will
fair.
make no enemies because you know that anyone who thinks it's palmy is objectively wrong, because it just is. So, like, you
To
know,
be fair, I'm a dumb American, so I say chicken parmesan. So I feel like, you know, I'm
dude, that is so fair, and it's such a good middle ground.
yeah, that's
Honestly,
what I'm gonna do.
maybe you're the end to this conflict, this age old
Just say yeah,
conflict.
just say chicken parmesan, and we'll cut it even. You know.
So why is it Parmesan, not Parmigiana? Because it ends
Oh,
with an
I
A,
don't know,
doesn't it?
man. I'm not qualified to answer this, you know. So I just like food. That's it. I didn't
Yeah,
know. I
I
feel like every time I ask this question, I feel this like sinking feeling in my chest a little bit, you know, because I'm just like, as soon
like
as I ask
it's like a storm's
as
coming.
soon as I ask the Australians about what it is, I feel like everybody's about to get like either their like fingers ready to like type out the most mean comment in the comment section, or like a pitchfork with some fire. Like I feel like
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and then shout outs to the band Red Hook. Emmy said
They're the
like
homies.
she
Yeah.
was like, listen, like, you know, this is anything against you. This has been a fight that has gone on long before you started interviewing Australian bands, and it will continue long after you interview Australian bands. So
It really
I'm
is.
just like, you know what? I'm just gonna, you know, I feel like out of the sake of decency to all parties involved, I'm just gonna say where I might nix this question in future interviews for Australians only, not for anyone else, because apparently it's not as divisive. But I feel like anytime somebody says chicken, insert word here, then you know that's when things you
In
know
chicken redacted.
chicken redacted. Yeah, so you know I can't do it. You know, I'm a man of the people
Nah,
here.
you
You
know
know.
what? I'm sorry that I put you. I'm sorry that I put you in that position.
I
That
should
wasn't
just
very nice of
record
me, was it?
two separate parts, and then one says chicken parma and one's chicken parmy,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like a
I'm like,
choose your own
yeah, choose your
adventure.
ending. Yeah, it's like choose your ending, and just like that's what it is. That's what's gonna happen.
Well, there's a good ending and a bad ending. I'm not going to say what that is. I think we all know, but you know, whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Oh God. Well, guys, I don't. I'm not gonna. No, I'm not gonna solicit the comment section for that. That's. I'm gonna.
But yes, a chicken redacted is my
A chicken
probably at
redacted.
the
That's what we
time
should
of
call.
this
That's
recording.
everybody
A
that
chicken
is from
redacted is
Australia
the
is now has to be called chicken redacted. That's it. Like it's chicken redacted. If I know exactly what you're
yeah.
saying, it's chicken redacted. Yeah, I'll
It's chicken
bleep it out. I just
redacted.
blur it
Yeah.
out. I just beep it
Yeah.
out.
You'll get demonetized, you know,
Yeah,
for
only
saying
in
the
Australia.
word.
I'll get like a check mark in Australia and be like, you said a bad word, and it wasn't the cursing, and I was like,
Hate
like fuck.
speech.
Yeah, hate speech. Oh God. Please don't report me. Please, thank you. I joked about not making a lot on YouTube, but like I do make a little bit, so it would be nice to make that
Oh,
little bit.
good for you,
Just a
man.
little.
You know
Just a
what?
little.
Like that makes me so happy to hear because you deserve to.
Oh,
You deserve to do this full time. Like
oh, thank you.
it's I'm just like I wrote like a 4-page notes like thing that I was about to post on Instagram that I just said no to, and it was just basically me just being like, we need to like pay people who do this stuff more.
Oh,
Like they like how are
thank
we
you.
expected to like I won't go into it because I got quite heated and it's gonna live in my notes app for the rest of my
No.
life.
If you want to, you say whatever
But
you want.
like
You know, this is a free and open space to say the things you need to say. You know, unless it's hate speech, then
It's just
chicken redacted. You can't say that. That's just not. That's,
chicken redacted.
that's it. Yeah.
No, it's like because you interview basically like a full-time job, right? Like in
This is
terms
like
of
my
the
second full-time
time.
job. Yeah. This is
Yeah,
like my
exactly.
second.
It's like it's so frustrating to me that like creatives in this
Aw.
industry are expected to like do this full time at a chance of like having a livable income, but it's like you're supposed to dedicate a full time week's work to it and just expect nothing. Like it's man, it's tough. It's
Oh,
real tough.
I appreciate it, you know, and you know, to piggyback on your point, like people ask me all the time, they're like, how much do you charge? And I was like, nothing. I don't charge anything. And they're like, wait, what? You
That's a
don't charge
beautiful
any-"
thing,
They're
man.
like, you don't charge anything? And I was like, no, I don't. Like, you know, I was like, you spend your blood, sweat, and tears and your heart making this music. Why would I need to put a paywall in front of it? You know, like what am I, EA Sports? You know, like I'm not like I like you know Brandon's microtransactions. No, I don't like I
You can
and
you yeah.
what were you gonna say, Jordan?
No, I was gonna say something really silly.
Oh,
Don't
you
worry
could say
about
you
it.
could have said it. But I feel like for me,
Well,
it's
like if
go ahead,
oh,
go
go on.
go go.
Sorry.
We're on a delay, so whatever you're gonna say, just say it.
Guys, if you want to pay like $20 to in the chat or whatever, I'll take off. I'll take off this. I'll take off.
It's both of us. If you paid $20,
It's a win-win. I'll split it. I'll split it with you. I'll split it with
we'll
you.
both take our church stuff.
Way.
No. I feel like for me, it's like bands spend so much heart, time, and effort, very similarly to myself. Like, you know, you spend all of your free time and your love, and, you know, you spend quality time with, you know, friends and family, you know, not doing that, you know, not hanging out with them to either be on tour or like to really trying to
Exactly,
like,
man.
and so there's so much that goes into it. Why would I ever want to take your money from doing something that you love to do and give it to me? Like I don't want it. I'm just gonna give it back to you. You know, like I don't need it as much as like this is like a second full-time job to me. It's like I don't need it. I don't need the money. Like I work the job that I work that like it pays the bills and it's great, but it allows me to do this. And this is something I really love and I put a lot of heart and effort into. And so very similarly to people that I have on that create art that's beautiful, like, you know, I want to be able to show that same sort of gratification that every person that I have on here like deserves a platform, you know, deserves a place to, you know, highlight their talent. Obviously, you know, if you're a fuck face, then don't even bother coming to like if you're like you already know if you're like racist, xenophobic, whatever.
I get it.
You know, all if you're
Just
a
don't be
bad
a
person,
dick,
if you're not a dick person, then you don't belong. You don't belong on this channel. But if you are like truly about the music and you're truly about the growth of the scene and wanting to, you know, just leave your mark on that, my platform is your platform. I want you to be able to, you know, I want people to look at bands and not like as much as like we were talking about, like, you know, seeing Josh at a Uniqlo from North Lane, like those are great experiences, right? You know, and those, I'm sure those are like great experiences, but Josh is just at the Uniqlo picking up a shirt, you know, he doesn't think he's like this superstar, or maybe he does, I don't know. That's great, you know, it's a great comments booster, but like
Power to him, you know.
but it's just like normal people, right? And I think for me, like I want my interviews to seem like it's just a normalization of that you're just a normal person. Like you create awesome music and you're a very talented artist, Jordan, but like you're also a normal individual. And I think that like people kind of have this sort of thought process that it's like, oh yeah, well it's like Jordan's like a singer and he's the front man and he's cool and he dresses with like such excellence, you know, like that, like how am I ever going to compete with that? And you're like, you're right, you know, because I wasn't born Australian, so like that I'm already down a peg, you know. But like, but at the same point, I'm like, Jordan is human, you know, and he is a person, and so like that to me is like I always try to highlight that. Like, that's my main thing is like, you're not just one dimension of just being an artist. Like, there's multiple dimensions to Jordan and any of the artists that I have on it. So I feel like my job as an interviewer is to unlock those sorts of other viewing aspects of people. And so, as well as that, to highlight what they do, which is, North Road. So you can check the links below, See, you didn't think I was going to get you with that, but I did. See, I turned it around.
You slid that one in there.
I slid that one in there,
So
see, yeah,
you took
Jordan
me off
wasn't in it.
guard there.
Yeah, I got Jordan good on that one. But see, like that, but like to me, it's like I love being able to just show bands in a different light, and I feel like for me, it's like that's always been a point of pride. And also, I just hope that people kind of are like, man, like Jordan is a cool person. And he also is in a cool band. Like, those two are not mutually exclusive. Those things are, very much in line with the thing. And I hope that, it gives people a better idea of you as a person. And so that's kind of why, to me, it's always a fun adventure to have artists on and to talk in this way, because, it's a fun time. And I think that, again, if you have not checked out North Road, listen, check them out. They're great. Look at Jordan.
That's so nice. Like, I really obviously, I should say on behalf of all Australian metal bands.
Okay.
Like,
whether you say Chicken Redacted or Chicken Redacted,
you are the unifying force.
Oh, thank you.
Like, no, I think it's a really beautiful thing what you're doing, and I think you're incredibly talented at what you do.
Oh.
And yeah, this is like I've been this isn't to discredit any of the interviews I've done, but I've been waiting for more of just a conversational style interview where we can just converse and like just talk shit basically.
Yeah.
And it takes a very warming kind of person to be able to bring that out of people, and I think you do that excellently.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm very
Jordan
grateful.
Is crushing my heart right now with the oh, I love that. And yeah, so I feel like to me, like that's like the important thing that I feel like I hope people take away from my interviews is that like is conversational. Like I want everybody to think that when you get an interview, you're getting one thing and you're getting one thing only. Like, I wasn't going to plan on talking to Jordan about fashion, but my man showed up decked out in like some of the finest fashion that I've ever seen in my entire life. And so I had to ask him, so like, it's those moments that I think for me, like, always make it interesting, and not every conversation leads to the same direction. And I think that that's like, my main point is like I want it to seem like if you're watching this and you haven't checked out North Road first, you go check the links below in the description. But as well as that, like I want it to seem like as if we had met at a party or like a get together and we were just talking, and then just somebody else that is a fan that likes both of us just happens to be like sitting there and just listening in onto our conversation, and just like enjoying the company. You get it, pull up a nice drink, or like a nice coffee, depending wherever you're at, and you enjoy it. I think that's kind of like the coolest thing about it, and like why I feel like mine's kind of like borderline an interview / podcast, because like I don't really like I've been doing this shit for over 7 years. Like I kind of have an idea of the types of questions to ask, but I really kind of just like let the conversation flow and not be like,
yeah,
you gotta stand.
I mean, some of those like the most illuminating questions that you could get out of an artist or anyone really are just from conversation. Like I think that there is, when you're short for time and stuff, it's good to have like a set of questions that I will like gladly answer all the time. But those personal questions come from, stream of consciousness and where those conversations lead. Like we wouldn't have gotten to fashion if it wasn't for the steps we took prior, but we couldn't have taken those steps prior if we had just maintained like a linear question answer structure. Yeah. And that's why I've just been like super keen to do these, because like I checked out some of your stuff and I was like, oh I'm so keen. I'm so
Oh,
keen to do this. Like, I was so excited.
I'm so chuffed right now. I
Nice,
don't know if I
dude.
used
You're an
that. I don't know if I
Australian.
used it. I did. So, funnily
No, that
enough,
was good. That was
by the
good.
time this comes out, actually the same day this is coming out, I will be posting an interview with the Atomic Bow Project, and they had told me that Australian is just like British but slowed down, and I feel like I unlocked a thought in my head, and I was like, "You're right. That's
It
so
is.
true. Like it's just slow
Yeah.
British like talk." So I don't know if I've
Mm-hmm.
offended any Australians, but like you
I'm not
guys are just
offended.
you guys are just like sexier English. That's it. That was the full circle moment, guys.
Uh,
I really wanted to lay down on that
yeah.
one. Yeah.
You
But
connected all the
I
dots.
connected all the dots. Some say I'm a facilitator, but the next question
Yeah.
I have for you, Jordan, is a fun one, and I'm curious how you're going to answer this one. Um, if you were to have a dream guest feature on an up and coming North Road track, who would you absolutely love to have on a track with you?
Damn, bro. That's a tough one. There's so many. uh,
Give me one realistic one that you feel like could definitely happen, and give me one that you're just like, listen, we're shooting for the stars, we're going full on like do or die moment.
Dude, nice. I would say like one that is just, I would say like one that is a little bit out of our reach, but like,
Feasible, definitely
still
feasible.
kind of real. Yeah, it's definitely feasible. Would be uh Michaela Delgado from yours truly.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I like that.
She's so dope. She's so sick. I'd love to get her on a track. And then I would say probably Chino. For sure,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Porque no las dos,
Yeah.
I would take both. That would be insane.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah,
Straight up,
shit.
man.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
that'd
Well,
be
listen,
sick.
North Road fans, you have your work cut out for you. I'm giving you some homework tonight. And you know what
Swarm their
and you know
comment
what that
section.
homework is? Listen, you need to tag North Road either on Twitter, Instagram, whatever your choice. Pick your poison. I don't care what it is, but you should do it. And then I also want you to tag yours truly and Deftones and then say collab question mark.
Yes.
And then listen, I'm not a legal scholar. I did not go to legal school. I went to school to get my marketing degree. So, some might say
Nice.
that, some might say that might make its way into this question here. But listen, if you want to hear that happen, listen, you send it out into the ether, and then it's out there. It's on the internet. So, there is a high likelihood it is real. So, if you just want to, if you want to just help boost that a little bit, you're picking up what I'm putting down, guys. Listen.
I get you.
So listen, I feel like if anything, you would just make Jordan smile, and that would make me happy because I love seeing Jordan smile. So listen, so like I feel like that's all you need. So like if you can make that happen, I would be thrilled.
We'll both be chuffed.
We would both be
both be
chuffed.
chuffed.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, we want to see us both chuffed. That sounded weird to say, but hey, listen, whatever. Let's
just chuff together.
I don't think that was any better, Jordan, but I appreciate the effort. So yeah, go do that. That'd be really sick. Also, yours truly. I know you guys are in the States, so like if we could somehow do something, Michaela. I had Red Hook on recently, and now Jordan talked about you. So like.
Come on, we're already there.
Yeah, we're almost. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm an honorary Australian. Like,
that's right.
I feel like
That's
I
right.
feel like it's in the cards. So your people hit my people up. It would be sick. And what I mean by my people, I mean me. It's just me. Just
You.
hit me up. That'd be sick.
That's like me saying my team as if like it isn't just 4 dudes on their laptops.
Well,
like,
it is your. I mean,
please,
technically, it
please.
is your team. So you guys are
Yeah.
you guys are a team. I'm just a solo. I'm running it solo. Solo in the queue. But
And you're doing it great.
oh, Man, Jordan is such a blessed guest. You know, I
What
I
is your
love.
what is your camera setup, dude? It's like so crisp and like you've got like the focus. It's
Oh,
like
thank you. It
so good.
is. So I am currently, shout outs to my family. They had got me uh, Cam 4K, the Elgato like thing, and then I
Whoa.
actually have it plugged into my Sony A7S camera. So now I'm just using, I usually like I have my webcam up still, but I mainly shoot on my Sony because I love that thing. So it's great.
Dude,
Thank
it's
you.
really nice.
And
It's
then
really
my
nice.
audio. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll
I can see it. It's I'm a sucker for an LED sign. That looks ace.
I love it. Shout outs to my best friend Daryl. He got it for me for my birthday. Actually, my 30th birthday. So now it's
Wow,
forever gonna
man.
be
Was
on.
that recently? Like,
That was
were you
it.
30 recently?
It was in March.
Oh, I
Yeah,
missed it.
it's all right. It's all right. We're gonna be
Well,
friends.
happy birthday.
We're gonna be friends forever, Jordan. So
Maybe I'll get invited to your 31st.
that would be sick. And I feel like I should be in
Yeah.
Australia for my 31st. So hey, listen, Australia, listen,
Hey,
hit them
we know how
DMs
to
up.
party down here.
I'd love that.
Hell
Listen,
yeah.
I'm ready to take this shit worldwide, baby. So like, listen,
Let's do it.
if any big organization would like to help me, migrate through, you know, many flights to Australia, I would be so keen, or as the
Man,
Australians
you
say,
should have
chuffed, for
chuffed.
the
You
opportunity to
should have
come
come
out to
down
Australia.
to Good Things Festival.
I keep
That
saying that,
happened
I feel
recently.
like if I say it enough times, it's just like, I feel like it's like Beetlejuice, if I say it enough times, maybe it might just actually happen,
Manifest destiny. Yeah,
yeah.
it's
So you
beautiful,
listen, good things.
dude. That lineup.
I would love to come down there. So like, listen, I don't know what type of press I have to hit up, but like, Ophelia, like if you want to help me out with
Yeah,
that,
she'll sort it out.
I
She'll
would be
sort it out.
eternally grateful, So.
That was like I'm gonna sound like such a fake like metalhead here, but that was like my first metal festival.
No, it
Like
was not.
the
Wow.
most recent one.
That's
Like
all
that was
right.
my first
Listen,
one. And can I
everybody's
tell you?
first.
Hey, that's right. I popped my metal festival cherry. Um, and I hate music festivals. Like
They are rough, yeah.
my legs get sore. I've been to like a 3-day music festival, and it was over New Year's, and New Year's is like notoriously hot in
Oh, I'm
Melbourne.
sure, yeah.
And it was about 40. I think there was a day where it hit 40 degrees. Again, I don't know the conversion.
I'm gonna look this up. You said 40 degrees Celsius?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my god, that's 104. Oh my god, that's wild. That is super hot.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Like
What?
it was bad. But the Good Things Festival was one day. It was a one
That's
day
good,
festival.
yeah.
And Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh,
Deftones.
yeah, I know. It was nuts. Oh, I was
Gojira.
so pissed. Yeah. Every time someone mentions it, it just makes me a little bit more angry that I didn't go out to Australia.
Bro, I cried. I cried during Deftones.
I would cry too.
They're like my favorite band ever.
Oh,
Yeah, it was amazing.
what an
I'm pretty
incredible
sure I've got a
lineup.
Deftones record here somewhere. Anyway.
I did notice that. I was gonna make a comment on that. I love your like vinyl setup in the back.
Thanks, man.
It's
It's
great.
I made it myself.
Listen, all right,
I've
listen.
got
If there's any more reason that I need to love you, Jordan, you just keep adding on to this pile. You're Australian, you're good looking, you dress well, you make
Let's
shit.
go.
Like, come on, man. You sing, you scream. What? Is there anything else? You might as well just get it all out now at this point.
No, I think that's like that's really it. Like if we
Okay.
weren't speaking about fashion and music, I would say I'm probably the most boring person you'll ever meet because
No.
like those are my two fields. And like if the conversation isn't directed in that way, then I'm basically just I'm incapable of conducting myself because like I don't know anything else. So, it's good that this conversation has been in that area because if
Yeah.
it wasn't, I'd basically just be like,
You just
I
be
don't know.
floundering. Yeah,
Like,
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I
Yeah.
picked that up. I'm glad that my brain, my intuition was like, he seems like a fashion nova, and then on top of that, he's a musician. So, we already have two crossover things that, your boy loves to
Yeah,
just hit on,
exactly.
So I got you. And I'm also a
Exactly,
vinyl
man.
fiend,
Yeah.
I collect myself. I would show you, but it is severely off camera. And I have a ton of cardboard boxes. I literally got, as soon as we hopped on, I checked downstairs. I got a package in the mail with
Oh,
more
no
vinyl on it.
way.
Yeah,
What was
so
it? Do you know what it
um,
is?
yes, I do know what it is. It's this Oklahoma band. They're called Cliff Diver, and they're awesome.
Oh,
They're this like female fronted band that does like easy core, like pop punk kind of
cool.
stuff, but there's like a little bit of soul mix in there. Great band. Check them out. Cliff
Cool,
Diver.
man.
They're awesome. Really rad
Yeah.
band. And then I know you also mentioned how much how much you like the new Bring Me the Horizon track. I would highly recommend, and listen, I've been preaching this gospel for like many, many, I would say for the past couple years now, but everybody should go check out this band called Super Love. Chef's Kiss. They are
I'm gonna
like
save them right now.
it's
I think I've
Super
heard
Love
of Super
UK.
Love actually.
Oh, you want to talk
Yeah.
about a band that just you want to talk about a band that's just absolutely nuts. I absolutely love that.
You interviewed them, didn't you?
No, so that's in the
Oh.
works. That is coming up soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But that one's
I think I know. I'll tell you what. They follow you, don't they?
they do. Yes, they do follow me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is
I saw
sick. Yeah.
that.
They hit me up every time, and I like told them I got the new vinyl, and like I purchased the new vinyl and a shirt, and they were just like, "Bro, come on, man! Like, thanks for supporting me." So,
Hell yeah.
listen, guys,
Hell yeah.
if North Road, has some sick merch, you can go pick it up, but don't be the first person to pick it up because I want to be the first one in the States to like own North
I
Road
see.
merch, so I
I
can,
see.
put my
Yeah.
metaphorical flag.
We
in
do
the
have
sand.
merch.
So
We
listen.
have merch.
I'm sure you do, and I'm sure it's just I'm sure it's chef's kiss. The designs, chef's kiss. So I'm ready. I'm ready when Jordan tells me that I'm gonna immediately search it up and be absolutely keen on it. But the next
Hell yeah,
question
man.
I have for you, Jordan, is the last question, which is my personal favorite question. I want to know. Well, actually, I have two more questions for you. We're going to continue it just a little bit longer. I wanted to know if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would it be?
My Desert Island album.
It's for a month, though. I feel like that's a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's true, and I like that parameter that you've set.
I don't want
That's
it to be
clever.
like of all time because I just feel like that's just like too extra, Like, why would I put someone on the spot like that? But I feel like a month, you got enough time to marinate in it.
For sure, I get that. I would say Pink Moon, Nick Drake.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow. All
Yeah.
right. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say Pink Moon, Nick Drake. That's, I mean, do you know Nick Drake?
I
Like,
do know.
Nick
Yeah,
Drake?
I got you. Yeah. I'm picking
Dude.
up what you're putting down. Yeah.
Dude,
Fantastic.
dude. Oh my
Fantastic
God.
stuff. Great.
Oh my God. I don't even
10 out of 10.
need to speak. If you have not listened, this is to your your listener base. If you have not listened to Nick Drake's discography, listen to Nick Drake, okay? Give this man's estate the flowers they deserve. That is all. That is all.
There you go. That was Jordan's PSA. I love that. Go check out Nick Drake.
Chicken redacted.
Chicken redacted. Okay. He's really getting spicy tonight, and I like that.
Yeah, I'm getting hated now.
He getting heated now. But the last question I have for you, Jordan, the most important question, arguably, for this entire interview. Not to put a lot on the line here, but as I mentioned to you earlier, I love interviewing bands. This is probably one of the best things that has been a part of my life for a very long period of my time. But I'm very passionate about this. I'm sure I would imagine so. And I imagine people watching this know how passionate I am about this. I would hope. But I wanted to know, why are you passionate about making music? Why is North Road and making music as a whole so, crucial to your life? Because, a lot of the times, there's a lot of trials, there's a lot of tribulations that artists go through. Obviously, a lot of artists that have gone through COVID and been out of that. What really keeps you going and what really motivates you to just make music and continue doing it?
That's a really beautiful question,
No,
man.
thank you.
Um, I think it really goes in line with, you know, what we are releasing now and what we are releasing to come. But if you noticed, our EP that we've released is called Panic, and it is basically just me putting words on paper about my experience with anxiety. I heavily suffer from anxiety and panic attacks, and it's just the most cathartic thing for me is like
Sure.
making and writing music, and it helps me understand how I'm feeling and the way forward in a way that like nothing else really can for me. Writing like words and performing them and like recording them is like the best way. It creates a tangibility for me that
Sure.
like once it's on this paper and it's in this song, it kind of leaves me and it becomes something else. And I think that's like super important for me. And the new music that we have coming out is like, it's less so about anxiety and just my life experiences and understanding all the things that have led you to be the person you are and how you continue to develop as a person. And just making peace with those situations and making peace with all the trials that you've been through to be where you are, and the fact that you're still standing here today is an opportunity to understand yourself each and every day, if that makes sense. So
No, yeah.
that's what we have. Yeah, that's what I'm just looking forward to releasing all these songs because they're all a part of me in like a very personal way, and it's like the most personal music I've ever written, and I've been writing for quite a while. So it's I'm super stoked, and that's why we write. That's why we do what we do, and it seems to be working. Like a couple hours ago, I saw that someone posted on their Instagram like an entire page of their interpretation of our new song
Oh, that's
and like
sick.
what it meant to them, and that is like that's exactly why we do it, and to know that we have that effect on people is such a motivating force for us, because it means that we're going in the right direction in terms of the music we create, but also that it's reaching people and it means something to them in the same way that all of our favorite bands have meant something to us. And, that's awesome. It's an amazing thing. Music is a
Yeah.
beautiful thing, and that's why we make it.
And I think that's why it's so crucial to my life, and I imagine to a lot of people, that's what we gravitate towards. And I think that's what makes this community so great is that, like, I think we have all had an experience where, an artist or a group of artists have really kind of made shitty situations better in your life. I think it also opens up a lot of more emotional things that I feel like people get out, and I have had my fair share of a good cry here on the channel, so people can go look that up if they want to, if you're just feeling like a sad sap. Like sometimes in some of the songs that I listen to, it gets really emotional.
That's beautiful.
I think there's a way of connecting in that way, and I think that North Road is one of those bands that I feel like immediately when I started listening to it, I felt immediately connected to it, and I think that that is such a cool thing. And anytime that I have that feeling or that moment, I want to make sure to relay that to the other people that I have on here. And I hope that you guys have that same experience connecting with North Road as I did, because I think they are a band you should be keeping an eye out for, because not only do they rock, but man, are they sweet. They're just a bunch of sweeties. So go check them out. They're awesome.
You should have said, like, we should have gotten the other guys in on this, because they're just like me. Like,
I love
we're
that.
all just
bunch of sweeties.
Yeah, we all love our mums like a lot.
I got you.
know?
You
Like,
give me that vibe.
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
because I love my
yeah.
mom. Shout outs to Mom Z. I love her.
Hell yeah.
Hell
but
I wanted
like
to
that's
go ahead, Jordan.
yeah. That's like that's what music, especially the music that we write, we really want the focus to be on the fact that it's a conversation. This isn't a matter of, we put out a song, you listen to it and you're like, that's great, it means a lot to me. There are steps further than that. Like, once you've listened to it and you're like, I really resonate with this message a lot, you can reach out to us. Like, text me, like, hit me up. Like, I will always respond. Come down to a show. Don't be like afraid to like come up and say hi, because I do see people like lurking in the corners of like our venues, looking at like, and I know they want to come up and chat. Yeah, like they want to come up and chat after a show, but they don't do it, and I want you to. I want to know how much this means to you, because it means a lot to me as well.
Yeah, go
Come
up
say
and
hi.
say hi to Jordan. He seems like an absolute doll. So listen, go.
I'll give you a hug.
I feel like that's the type of energy I get from Jordan. He's giving me a virtual hug right now, and I can feel it. So please. Okay, there we go. That felt good. That felt good. There we go. But yeah, go check out North Road. Seriously, they're awesome. And I'm gonna give the floor to Jordan. Jordan, tell the people that you can find North Road at, what you guys have coming up in the next couple of months. This is coming out around June the 12th. So, anything after that point, let the people know what you got going on.
Perfect, man. Yeah, come check us out. North Road, NTH RD. Hell yeah. Not my name. Instagram, we're like super active on Instagram, so NTH_RD. Come check us out. As soon as, if you want to come down to a show, that's where you'll know about it first thing. And we've got our music video coming out in 5 days, 10th of May. Check it out. It's directed by the incredibly talented Jackson River. And yeah, it's awesome.
There we go.
Life is good. We've got some big plans for later in the year, so I'm super, super excited. That's it. We love you.
Oh, I love North Road. And, it didn't take me very long to fall in love with North Road, but, you could say I'm, falling head over heels for North Road. So please go check the links in the description. Go check out the reaction video. Go check out their new music video. Go pick up merch if you can. That would be amazing. I'm gonna slowly just insert my opinion. Just say if North Road released some vinyl, then your boy would definitely get that 100%. Just saying. Just a little something. A little like vinyl shirt combo. Just saying that's that'd be kind of sick.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be tight.
Check. Listen, if you go support North Road and they get bigger, then they're able to produce vinyl, and then I don't have to look like an idiot on the internet. So, listen, that would be great. So if
do it for Brandon, guys.
Do it for me. I would love that. As if I don't have enough vinyl as it is. I love to have homies of the channels vinyl in my collection. I would love to just pack out my collection with all my friends, so if you can make that happen, that'd be really sick. And again, want to give a shout outs to Ophelia. She is the queen of Australia. That hasn't been confirmed yet, so that's still impending, but I want to say she is.
We're still we're still in the Commonwealth, unfortunately. As soon as we as soon as we're out of there, Ophelia's the royalty. She's the next in line.
Yeah, she is. So go give us salutes. Go give us salutes in the comments to Ophelia, because listen, she's bringing you the finest grade A Australian bands here to the channel. So, listen, you hear about Australian vans, I would hope that you come here first and hear about them for the first time. You know, that'd be really rad.
That's
And
right.
if you did like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It does go a long way. And again, huge thanks to North Road for coming on tonight.
Woo!